Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice for radio. So today, we're going to be taking a little bit of a look at a deck which I think has a huge amount of potential, which could be really, really good, and it's just not seeing enough play. So I thought it was time we had a chat about it. It is a deck which is all built around Solgaleo and Alolan Ninetales. And ladies and gentlemen, I've had to play against this in a tournament. It did not go well. Although incidentally, I was playing Granbull, so maybe not completely unforeseen. But I think it has a place in this metagame. So, if we have a look at Solgaleo, then we have two Solgaleo. So the second Solgaleo GX is really our starting point here. 250 HP is huge. And then for a double colorless energy, that's a single energy attachment, you get to do 120 damage, which in and of itself is pretty good, and attach 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. That's redonk. Absolutely redonk. Now the ability here takes away your weakness, more on that in a moment, and the GX attack heals all damage from all of your Pokemon. You'll probably end up using that at some point, but it's not the main point of the card. I really want to focus here on that first attack, double colorless energy, 120 damage. Because I should also remind you at this point, Dalmise is a thing, and Dalmise lets you do an extra 10 damage in your attacks. Now this is absolutely crucial. There are some decks, I'm looking at you Granbull and you White Kyurem, which are weak. And those decks almost have no game against Solgaleo GX. It's just kind of hilarious how bad they are here. Because you just get one hit KO'd. And here's the other thing. You got 250 HP and no weakness. I don't know how many of you have ever sat and thought about this, but trying to get a one-hit KO on a 250 HP Pokemon with no weakness, that's actually incredibly difficult to do. And sure, the first Solgaleo GX is going to need a double colorless energy, but you can then attack with this to build up a second one with basic energy, which means you can then afford to use Max Potion. Yeah, you'll probably end up getting rid of 1 or 2 DCE with Max Potion, but the key is you're getting rid of 1 or 2 double colorless energy with Max Potion. That doesn't really matter, because you're accelerating energy while you do this. So even if you don't use a GX attack, 250 HP, no weakness, can use Max Potion. So White Kyurem's going down, Granbull's going down, but let's say you're against something like Shining Lugia, which sees a fair bit of play, or Giratina, which also sees a fair bit of play. We've seen both of these featured in Malamar decks, for instance. Well, they've got 130 HP. So all you need to do is one Dalmise and you get an easy one-hit KO. And bearing in mind, they just aren't one-hit KOing you. And to be honest, they might struggle to two-hit KO you, and you can heal. So we're in this weird situation where a GX Pokemon can actually win the prize race against a non-GX Pokemon. That does not happen very much at all. But when it does, it leads to victory. So straight away here, we've got the new Solgaleo GX, which is great against non-GX decks. Most non-GX decks, you're going to do fine here. But then that's not great against bigger decks, because you're kind of two-hit KOing and it's getting a bit awkward. So let's remember the old Solgaleo GX. Now the ability here is a once per turn switch, which is redonkulous, and at this stage I need to mention one of the cards which is going to make this better from Team Up. It's Jirachi. Because Jirachi here, when it's in the active, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, find a trainer card, put it in your hand, and then you go to sleep. Most people have been playing Escape Board with this, but you don't even need to play Escape Board because you can switch with Solgaleo. And it helps you find your rare candy when you need it. It helps you find your Max Potion when you need it, etc. It's a little bit over the top good. And of course, it means you can switch between the I need to KO a non-GX Solgaleo and the it's time to smash Solgaleo. And it is time to smash, ladies and gentlemen. Free energy, 230, discard all your energy. But bearing in mind, right, you can just use one attack on the other Solgaleo, attach from hand, and you're ready to go again. Now, 230 will get the vast majority of GXs, right up to Greninja GX and below. And if you add a choice band on there, every single GX is going down. Tag Team GXs, it's not quite so straightforward. A single down Mise will take down Pikarom, which is very, very nice. But you actually need a choice band and a Delmise to take down Celebi and Venusaur. That doesn't mean you can't do it, because choice band and a single down Mise, but it does make it a little bit more awkward. But bearing in mind, I'm saying one choice band, one Delmise, and you're getting a one-hit KO for free prizes. And you can play like 2 choice band here. You don't need to play many choice band, because you've got Jirachi, and spoiler alert, you've got Alolan Ninetales, so you are going to be able to find that choice band more likely than not on the turn that you need it. So this is pretty gosh darn good. You are KOing pretty much anything. And this, incidentally, is what makes me love this so much. You've got one Solgaleo, which is great for non-GXs, and one which is great for GXs and Tag Team GXs. Then, of course, the newer one means that none of your Pokemon have weakness, and the older one means you got to switch and can abuse Jirachi. And that's before we even mention a GX attack here. Search your deck for up to 5 energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like for just a single metal energy. And if you know you're against a heavy GX or Tag Team GX deck, you can use that GX attack very early on in the game to get yourself set up for 2 or 3 Sunsteel strikes in a row. Okay, that's pretty gosh darn good. And we need to talk about fire decks here, because let's take something like Blacephalon. Generally speaking, we'd look at this and go, Blacephalon. Blacephalon's going to have them. Well, actually, no, Blacephalon isn't going to have them. Because as long as you start off with the newer Solgaleo GX, you've got no weakness. Which means they are having to get rid of 5 energy. They are having to put 5 energy into the Lost Zone in order to get a one-hit KO. Remember, if they don't get a one-hit KO, you've got Max Potion and you've got the GX attack on the new Solgaleo, so you are not worried at all here unless they're one-hit KOing. But let's say, for argument's sake, they are one-hit KOing. That means they need 5 energy, which means that is 15 energy. And remember, they go into the Lost Zone. Now, 2 points here. Firstly, your average Blacephalon list is playing 15 fire energy. The second place list at the Harrogate Regional Championships played 15 fire energy, which means they need every energy they've got on the field, 2 of them on Blacephalon, every attack, in order to actually do this. It's possible, but it's pretty gosh darned awkward, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty gosh darned awkward. And then, of course, they've got to get 5 energy on the field, 2 of which are on Blacephalon. That is extremely difficult to pull off, and I don't think it's going to happen very often. This deck should have a bad Blacephalon matchup. It's actually got a really good Blacephalon matchup. The other fire deck we should be worried about here is Flareon, but why are you worried about Flareon? Flareon does 190 damage, and they're not hitting you for weakness. So even with a choice band, they're 30 damage short. Max Potion. Cool. You're fine. And you are one-hit KOing them very easily, incidentally, whether it's Flareon or whether it is your Blacephalon, or your opponent's Blacephalon. And then we bring in Alolan Ninetales. It really is the combination of Solgaleo that gets me excited, but Alolan Ninetales ain't too shabby. The ability says that when you evolve it, you can grab 2 item cards. This helps you get your rare candy, choice band, max potion, etc. Less important with Jirachi in the format, but I still think a small line of this could be fun. And then, of course, the GX attack here, 1 fairy, 1 colorless energy, instant KO on a GX. As long as it's an Ultra Beast. It can be a non-GX Ultra Beast, but you kind of want to get a GX here. So against Blacephalon or Buzzwole or any other GX Ultra Beast deck, Ultra Beast, but you know I'm really worried about GXs here, because it's a GX attack. You want 2 prizes, boom, instant KO. That's pretty nice. We don't have a great way to search it out, unfortunately, that being the fairy energy, but even so, that's still pretty gosh darned good. And then, of course, let's not forget it evolves from Alolan Vulpix, and really, turn 1 or 2, you're probably going to want Beacon to search out your Pokemon to get rolling. The combination of Alolan Vulpix and Alolan Ninetales really does help. in terms of getting those stage 2s out nice and quickly. It's a Solgaleo deck, but Alolan Ninetales really does help. But there is one other card I want to bring your attention to. I've mentioned most of the main cards here, but there's one card I really want to mention as a great option in this deck. It is one of the great overlooked Prism Star cards. It is Cyrus Prism Star. Now, you can only use it if your active Pokemon is a water or a metal Pokemon. Jirachi, Solgaleo, Alolan Vulpix, don't worry about it. Your opponent chooses 2 bench Pokemon and shuffles the others and all cards attached to them into their deck. How often, and again, you can do this yourself, you can play this game. Next time you're playing, have a look and just ask yourself the question throughout the game, could I afford to get rid of all but 2 of my bench Pokemon and still be successful in this game? The vast majority of the time, ladies and gentlemen, the answer is going to be no. It is an absolutely devastating card. I know it's not a deck that's getting a lot of publicity, and it's not a deck I'm seeing around very much, but I do believe incredibly strongly that, first of all, in the pre-Tag Team GX format, it's brilliant. But even post-Tag Team GXs, you've got a GX that can KO a Tag Team GX in one hit. It's pretty gosh darn good. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I think this deck has an awful lot of potential, but I would very much like to know what you think about this deck. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! But please do remember the most important thing as always, be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter @TheWassy, where we talk about games and such. It's fun. And of course, for live action, twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. And if you're inclined to support the channel, or you want some bonus pods, or you want to demand I make a particular video of your choice, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio. That's where that happens. And do please make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about other games. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves. Until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.